Hello everyone and welcome to my input on another Bedroom Guru. Today is a very personal video that I'm going to give you, and it's not about oh woe is me, oh poor me. It was inspired because I've just got a message from Elizabeth Hawkins, hello darling, about that I've helped on videos when people have been going through trauma and things like that. And I appreciate that, thank you very much. So I kind of was sitting here deliberating whether to do this video or not, because I'm in the rawest pain at the moment that I possibly could be, because something really horrible's happened. But then I thought, well, why should I always do videos when it's all positive and great and wonderful? Why can't I just show you the real things that happen in life and how I get through them, and hopefully it can inspire you. Might get a bit emotional, but I'll try and hold it together. I basically want to talk about something that happened to me to basically show you how the spirit world and how my strength and what I've attracted in my life has helped me through something that has pretty much ripped my heart apart. It has broken my soul, but not completely. It's broken that little part where you perhaps feel humiliated or degraded, or you feel why it's happened and why did I not see it. However, I pretty much did. So you must be wondering what I'm talking about. Basically, I met someone back in October last year, and he came across as a really lovely person. I think I've mentioned him in other videos, and we had a wonderful time. We travelled everywhere, we had holidays, and I thought he was the one, basically. My brother and nephew had predicted someone very similar to him, so I assumed that he was going to be the one. As I'd had such a bad run my whole life of being in bad relationships, I thought perhaps it was my turn to have the fairy tale ending. Oh no, it was just another last little piece of the puzzle to be placed in. Now, as I keep saying, the reason I'm going to tell you about this very personal thing that's happened is because I want to show you how, by adopting a spiritual way of life, by adopting a higher power, you can get through it. You have to go through the grieving, there's absolutely no doubt about that, and believe me, I have. I've gone through a lot of tears, a lot of anger, a lot of denial, and a lot of massive, fierce hatred. But that's natural. It's the rest of the magic that took place, which I'd like to share with you. Because basically on Tuesday night, he cheated on me and slept with another girl. How do I know that? That's what I'm going to get to. When you are living and residing in a higher vibration, you start to get these feelings that you know aren't yours. So it kind of started for me about 2 months ago, because I look back at my soul journals to see when that seed started in my stomach. And it's a feeling of anxiety, and then when you try and think of what it is, you don't know what it is at all. You just think, why am I getting that for? I've got nothing, that I'm not looking forward to at all. And so the seeds of doubt were there about what was going on in the relationship, even though he was very caring, always here when I needed him. But there was just something not right. And I've kept writing it in my soul journal, and I put it down to initially that I was worried that the bubble was going to burst because it was so perfect, and I was worried that perhaps I felt like I didn't deserve a happy ending, and I was analysing myself like I've told you in previous videos to analyse every situation, but there just didn't seem to be any kind of answer to it because everything was absolutely fine. It was wonderful. I was very, very happy. But I still had this feeling that something wasn't right. And I kept writing it out, and I've just literally read through it thinking, my God, you were so on point. That's because they were preparing me for a shock. They were preparing me for a bereavement, if you like. They were preparing me for something that nobody should have to go through or endure. But then, you don't know anybody, do you, that well after 6 months, and I suppose there's nothing you can do about it, is there? It's happened, and that's it. So this is what happened from the spiritual side of things. Most of us, if we haven't got that spiritual side, would go into complete meltdown. Don't believe me, I did. I went absolutely lupo. Um, but, you know, and then we try and grieve, and then we try and hate, and we try and do hateful things. But this is what's happened to me. And you'll actually will see this on my Facebook page as well. So it got worse and worse. And also, one of my psychic friends came here the other day and said it feels really weird in here. I feel physically sick. And she started talking about Toby, saying something's not right there, and I could feel it in the pit of my stomach, but I was in a bit of denial, to be honest with you. And she said it just feels sicky in here. It doesn't feel right. So I took that on board. Anyway, on the Monday before he decided to go and get hold of this old flame of his, my computer started typing itself. And it started, first of all, on his pictures. He does little bits of art, and I was trying to help him, as I do with everybody. I was trying to help him, you know, get his art out there. And it flicked on there, first of all, and I thought, that's a bit weird. It literally turned itself on, flicked to there. Then it flicked to my documents, and it flicked to the chapters of my book. And I thought, right, okay. And then I could hear the tapping, but the keys weren't moving. How weird is that? And I did get the end bit of it, but you can't really see it very well. I recorded it. And then it went on to my YouTube video. It actually Googled, and I've actually, if you look on my YouTube channel, I've actually put it on there to show you that it literally typed out my HTTP address. I don't know how it did that. And went on to my YouTube video about laws of attraction. And I remember mentioning in that video about if it's wrong, get out. And also the fact that you've got to analyse yourself to see if you've drawn that energy in, or if you just literally have been bad, you know, you've had bad luck to be, I suppose, exposed to, you know, a younger soul that's just totally messed up. So I thought, wow, that's interesting. Anyway, that played. Then my phone started texting it on its own. And first of all, it texts, good S book, Nicky. Kiss, 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 kiss. So I assume it was trying to say, focus on the book. This is what we want you to do. Hang on in there. And then it came up with lots of kisses with the letter W at the end of it. And I couldn't work out what that was. Then later on, the phone texted itself again and sent a text of mumbo jumbo to Toby, the man who cheated. And I didn't think of it at the time, but they were trying to highlight through showing his page of his illustrations and sending this text on its own to them, that they were trying to show me there was an issue that was coming. But I didn't get it. I just thought, wow, this is really super weird. And then, anyway, this nausea and this sickness feeling was coming up, and I didn't know why. And then obviously the following night he did the deed, pretending that he was going out to see someone else, his friend, and he didn't. He arranged to see her. And the following day I didn't feel right. I felt like very spacey, my head wasn't right. And again, my phone started texting itself, and this time it just kept doing S, and it just kept typing S, 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 line after line after line. And then there was kiss, 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 kiss with the W at the end. I still can't work out what the W is. Perhaps it's an angel initial, I really don't know. And I'm thinking, what does S stand for? Is it the number, which adds to 19, which adds to 10, and, you know, equates to the Wheel of Fortune, as my friend Gaynor explained to me? And new starts and new beginnings, or was it S for snake? I really don't know what that meant, but I could feel the energy in the place heightened, and I could feel people next to me, because all my hair was on end, and I had, like, I can only describe it as like a tingly feeling over my head, which is when spirit are near. And the dogs kept looking up at the hallway, just there, and seeing people walk past. I'm thinking, there is something going to kick off. And I honestly thought at that point that someone was going to die. I don't know why. I had such a dreadful sense of something happening really bad. And I was so scared, because I thought, oh my God, someone's going to die. That's what I honestly thought. So I then had to go and pick him up, brought him back here, and he was totally normal as usual, chilled out, and then went to sleep. And at 10 to 6, I got woken up, and my granddad was standing in the corner of my bedroom. And he said, "You need to know the truth." So I thought, what the hell's he talking about? And he kept pointing over next to where Toby was laying. I'm like, I don't know what the hell I was doing. So I thought, I'm making this up, I'm dreaming it. So I tried to go back to sleep. He said, "Wake up." And when I looked, the finger was pointing at his iPad. So I'm like, oh, for God's sake. So I thought, I don't know what this is about. But as soon as I started to open the flap of the iPad, this tension started to ease. It was really weird. But then it turned into adrenaline and complete shock, because then I read very intimate messages between him and this girl about what they'd got up to the night before. And it just turned into blind rage, to be honest with you. And within about 15 minutes, he was out the door. The pain, the anger and the hurt, as I said, on the human level was there, but there was some sort of residual strength. And when I actually sat and thought about it, I thought, my good God, I would have never have known this. I would never have known this. We were arranging to take his children out on the boat the following day, and God knows what, he was obviously going to pretend everything was okay and still see her, but obviously my granddad and that lot above thought, this ain't going to happen, love. You can, like, get out now. And not only that, my friend, I've just been talking to my sister, and a real dear close friend of our family, she's like a sister really, Ollie, and she said that 2 weeks ago she was having a feeling of dread, and it was about me, but she didn't want to tell me because she didn't know what actually it was about. So what I'm trying to share with you is not tell you I've been cheated on and this is who did it to me. This isn't what this video is about at all. It's about when you live, and you don't have to be a medium. This is what I'm trying to say to people. It's about when you are in that energy and you are totally in that trustworthy, comfortable energy, that you know that you're in safe arms of angel realms in the spirit world. They will not steer you wrong. And I'm not going to lie, this has been the most powerful thing that's ever happened to me. I'm still reeling at the shock of how they orchestrated this. You know, obviously I wasn't getting it on the text and you know, the computer starting up and doing what it was doing. They were trying to show me then, and I didn't quite get it. So it took for my granddad to manifest and point to the iPad to say, look on it, basically. I knew exactly what he meant when I realised what he was pointing at. And so the pain unfolded of putting everything on the drive, waiting for him to pick it up, and me completely losing the plot. But this is when, again, when I'm going to go back to my last video about laws of attraction, because I'm telling you now, this is most probably the last hour. It's the last hour that I haven't had a phone call or had someone sitting with me. My friend Hayley just bought me some beautiful flowers. My other friend Gaynor was here. Helen came round, my other friend, and they've been here for me. And that means that, one, it was never me that attracted this. Two, I'm so lucky that I've attracted these beautiful people around me, including my family. I've just come off from FaceTime with my sister, just giving me that it's okay. And even though I've got this pain in my heart and I haven't eaten for 2 days, could lose some weight, who knows, and I can't physically eat at the moment, but that's just all the human processes. That's the base chakra stuff going on, okay? And this is what I'm trying to explain to you, so that when you go through, I hope you don't, if you go through any trauma, whether it be bereavement, what's happened to me, or divorce, whatever it is that you're going through, I'm trying to show you that there is another way that they can bring you through if you kind of raise your vibrations and try and maintain a dual life of living this existence, but knowing that back home you've got the back of all of your spirit loved ones and the angel realms there with you. And so this morning he came to pick the stuff up and admitted on the doorstep that he had done what I knew he had done anyway. It's quite obvious. And that really hurt. I was very angry, very, very angry at him, and most every swear word that I could possibly muster came out of my mouth. Then he left. So how do you cope from then on? You can either sit and cry, you can either keep over analysing it, and I thought, I can't do this. So I saged my house. What if you, I've already described this in other videos. I've got it over there, but if I get up, I must really knock the bloody camera. So it's basically white sage. It's dried sage. A lot of it is bundled and brought over from like Native America, and it's a cleansing tool. It's a dried plant that you burn. It smells like hell. And it basically takes all of the negative energy, everything that's transpired in your home, and it sucks it out and takes it back out to the universe. And so I saged every single room, everywhere he's touched, everywhere he's been. I stripped the bed, I saged the bed, I saged myself, I saged my dogs because he's touched those. Any single thing that he's got any connection with whatsoever, I saged. And weirdly enough, when my friend Gaynor came around, she goes, it feels brilliant in here, it feels really different. And I thought, it's worked, you know, because she felt sick the last time she was here. So I saged everything. During that time, I asked for Archangel Michael to be with me. Archangel Michael, basically, as I've said to you in other videos, is the archangel of strength, of courage to move forward, to cut your binds of whatever is ailing you away from you. And I envisaged him with these cords connected to the cheetah, and him just cutting them all down, cutting all of those ties away so that I could just move on from it. It's done. I don't need to waste some energy on it. So I did that. And imagined his blue cloak around me. Funny enough, it's most of why I got this colour on, not even thinking about it. And then I asked Archangel Raguel, which is harmony, balance, and he rectifies any injustices. And I said to him, give me my closure and also help me to just restore harmony and balance. I've obviously been in a very wrong relationship with a very sick man who obviously needs to trash everything he does in his life, because I found out subsequently that he's been doing it pretty much all his life. And I said, I just want that balance back. I've gone off again on another path. Didn't realise this would happen. It's happened. I need you to give me some closure and just, get that justice in for me. And so then I decided to go out, and I went to a shop, and randomly, guess who walked in? What are the odds of that? And he walked in the shop, and I swore and shouted at him, because that's a human side of me. And then his mum and his children were there, so I decided to go and tell her the truth about her son, because I felt I needed to. And when I came away from it, I knew that was my closure time. I knew that Raguel had orchestrated my intention to be in that place, and when he walked in, his face was a picture. And it gave me a sense of, I've said my piece, I've said my truth, I've told her that he's done wrong, and I'm not to blame, and walked away. And I felt an enormous sense of relief and a sense of justice had been served. You can't sit here saying, lots of people say it, and they say, he'll get his karma. It's not about waiting for revenge at all. I don't feel that at all. If anything, I feel very sorry for him that he feels like he should do that. Anybody just see that flash then? A bit freaky. You're here. I just know that obviously he's going to live his life just trashing everything where he goes, which is very, very sad thing. But what I did feel when I got in the car and came back here, and then I had my friends here and blah, 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 is that I've got a sense of peace within me, a sense of strength. And I know that a few years ago, if this had happened, I would be on the floor and I'd be thinking about wanting to go back home again and isolating and not wanting to play in the world anymore. But I've got this immense sense of peace over me. Obviously, the biggest part of it is because of how all of it was exposed to me. And as I said before, you don't have to be psychic to have these synchronicities and signs be shown to you. And for things like him walking in the shop, that was completely arranged by them so that I could get my final say to his family, because no doubt he'll lie and manipulate the situation to make it look like either I'm a nutter or, we just broke up. But I thought, no, actually, you need to know what he's done here, because it's really wrong and it's really not right, and I'm a really lovely person and it's really not fair. And so I got that. And I just sent a thing out on Facebook to say I'm so thankful and overwhelmed by the support I've had from my friends and family, because I literally have not been alone 1 minute, whether it's through the phone or through people visiting here. And I know that Michael most probably is already cutting the cords, because, as I say, there's no doubt with the human scenario that I'm going to perhaps have more tears, or perhaps have, a bit more anger. But weirdly enough, I feel strangely serene. And this is how I want you to perhaps approach things in the future, so that your soul can be prepared and be connected to the higher realms, so that you can have an easier ride through trauma. This isn't obviously equated to things like losing a loved one, because that's just completely catastrophic. However, all I'm saying is if you just trust in that extra element, and you trust that you are looked after, it will make it just a wee tad easier for you. So I hope this hasn't been too personal, but I don't know, I just had the idea in my head, and then I suddenly had a message pop up to say that, you've helped me through some trauma, and it's lovely to see your videos. And I thought, well, why not talk about things that happened to me personally as well? What's wrong with that? We're all human. We all have stuff happen to us. Shit happens, as they say. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I just wanted to share. I hope I've got the message across. What I was trying to say is that I'm just still gobsmacked on how it happened, how I was told, and how he was exposed. It's just incredible, because I trusted him implicitly like a wally. And I suppose a lot of you would be saying, well, if you're psychic, why didn't you know? Well, I kind of did. And I don't know if it was a denial process of thinking, no, don't be stupid. I absolutely thought he was going to see a friend. But there was still this pit in my stomach. Perhaps one of the learning curves is to listen to that pit a bit more and find out what the anxiety was. I did try and honestly thought it was down to my own demons, but it's not. I'm completely whole. And this has been the most wonderful lesson to see how I endure a big shock or a big trauma. And I've ridden through it already, and I'm really, really, really proud of myself for being that person and trusting implicitly in this higher power, being the angel realms and the spirit world. And this is what I want to impart to you. It really does make it so much easier. And if I get any thoughts, I think the worst thing, especially if you've been cheated on, is if you imagine them when they were together doing the act, if you like, and that kind of started haunting me a bit. But then you just say stop, and that's when you either put music on or go and do a little chore, and then it's finished. That's what I was doing before my friends turned up. So it's all about mindfulness as well. It's protecting yourself, it's protecting your energy, and not allowing yourself to get into that stage of letting your head run away with the whole episode of it all. Does that make sense? So you need to cut yourself away from it as quick as you can before it turns into an emotion and then a subsequent behaviour. And that's what I did initially. I lashed out massively. Drew cheat all over the boxes that were left on the drive. So anyway, yeah, so well, you do, don't you? Let's face it. But yeah, so you honour your human process, you honour your grieving, and if you have lost someone, or it's an absolute catastrophic loss that's going to take you perhaps years to recover from, then you do this, but on a more extended type of practice. So we've got to do this mindfulness. So, if you're missing someone or someone's passed over and you start getting into memories of what you used to do, or you pick something up that reminds them of them, then you need to say, well, do I need that out at the moment, or do I need to put that away? Look after the inner child and protect that. Always be on the lookout for anything that's going to create a trigger. And if there is a trigger that's operated that brings you into that awful feeling that you get when you experience loss, then you need to snap that in the bud. Perhaps you need to put things away for the time being if you can't handle seeing them. So that was the first thing I did, actually. I made sure that every single thing that ever touched him was out of this house straight away. I could not allow any of his energy imprint to be in here. And now I'm totally free of it. Everything's all gone. And I think that's most important. So if you are experienced, I'm sure I just saw a flash go across me again then. Perhaps people can let me know on comments if it's happening. But I've got a feeling someone keeps whiffing past me. Feels angelic, actually, because it feels like pure white, pure blue white. Get in. I just love it. Because you know what? No matter what happens in my life from now on, I just really am not going to have the fear. because I know that if anything really bad is going to happen, they will let me know. And when it does happen, they're going to be with me, and they're going to make it so much less painful than it ordinarily would be trying to battle it on your own, which I did for years during my journey, as I keep going on and on about. So someone's just come in my head then as well. Hello, guys. So all I want to say to you is, put self-care first. Put everything you need to cope with the situation first, i.e. get rid of objects or get rid of things that are going to remind you. Be mindful. Stop the thoughts running into you ending up in a complete heap. Don't get me wrong, crying is absolutely fine. You have to release your tears to heal. You have to do that. You have to honour the grieving process. But in the meantime, you can do things to make it a bit easier. You know, I've said this before with grieving in another video. You know, choose your time to decide to have that cry and open a box full of their stuff. You know, if you're going through a bereavement. But this accounts to anything. You could have lost your job. You could have had a row with your boyfriend. Whatever it is, adopt this way forwards. Think about the spiritual practices that you can do. So at the moment, for some reason, I don't know why I've put them on, but I decided to put Moonstone on Monday, and that is basically for higher moods, to make you feel positive, keep you going, motivation. And I put those on, and I just did that without even thinking. Funny, isn't it? And as I say, think about saging places that you need to get your negativity out of, and sage yourself. Just sage yourself. Just blow the smoke around you. As I say, it does stink. And my beautiful neighbour come over earlier on because he's going to help me out with some stuff in the kitchen, and he's like, and I said, sorry, it's sage. But I ended up crying in front of him. But hey ho. And so think about saging, think about cleansing, think about crystals. I've got a selenite directed right at me where I sit, so that I know that I've got the angel stone pointing at me. I've made sure that everything is clear and tidy. I've just cleared out all my kitchen. I'm just going to do the back room when I've got enough energy. I don't know if I've overdone it. I'm honouring the fact that I can't eat. That's absolutely fine. I'm just making sure I'm rehydrated, so I'm looking after my physical body. And with the mindfulness techniques, as soon as I go back, because what happens is, have you noticed that when you have had something bad happen, when you think about it, you get a shot of adrenaline, the reality of the pain comes back, and you start, oh my God, I've just remembered that this is really shit. Do you know what I mean? And I kept getting that this morning. I absolutely was in a complete state this morning, absolutely devastated, couldn't stop crying, couldn't stop shaking, couldn't stop dry retching. I've never been so physically affected by something. I suppose because I love the man more than, most probably anybody else. And so, the physical part is reacting. So honour your physical self. So I spent some time out in the garden. I also did a meditation with Rasa. I've mentioned her before. I love the meditation she does on YouTube. So I did a little meditation, but it was a healing one. And later on I'm going to do one about letting go, so that I'm looking after my soul as well, and hopefully that will lead to less of the memories coming back or thought processes coming back of what occurred a couple of days ago. And that's what I can offer you. That's how I'm coping with it. I also realise, which I'm very proud of myself, that I haven't isolated. I've picked the phone up to absolutely everybody that's phoned. I've reached out and expressed how much pain I'm in, and that it would be lovely to have company. And I never did that before either. Or you could perhaps be somebody that doesn't want the company but just wants the messages. Communicate with the people that love you and let them know what you want from them. That's the most important thing to do as well. And just be kind to yourself. The biggest thing though is don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself when something ugly comes into your life. If you know, as I put in this last video, which weirdly enough was the one that came up, if you know in yourself that you've done nothing to attract that, and there is no flaws in your self-belief and your self-esteem, then it just literally means you've had an experience, and you've got to let it go. The other thing that's interesting as well is that despite all the anger and the pain and all the crying, all the rest of it, I did go through a tiny stage of why me? Why have you done this to me again? Like they created it. And really, if I'd actually thought about it 2 months ago, I could have dealt with this. And perhaps had the strength to go, don't feel right, this is just not right, I don't think you're really that interested, and so I think we should end it. Perhaps I should have done that. That's something I need to have a look at and analyse in my soul journal. The other thing as well is that perhaps the lesson to be learned in all of this is I'm a very kind-hearted person. I trust everybody implicitly, and when I meet someone on a romantic level, I want to give them everything to make them happy because I know they're not. And that's what I did. I gave everything, materially, emotionally, to this person, and I didn't really know him that well. Go figure. Didn't know that was going to happen, did I? And so my learning curve in this is that next time, which I'm not really interested in for the next couple of years, to be fair, I'm really not interested. But perhaps next time I won't be guarded or closed like he was, but I will certainly honour the fact that it should be a mutual relationship and that I shouldn't have to give all the time, and make them happy. So perhaps I overstepped it on the trying to make someone happy because I felt sorry for them. So I need to own a bit more toughening up, which I believe Michael will be doing now. So my lesson is safeguard. Don't trust implicitly to begin with. Don't think that everything that's brought to you is brilliant and lovely and wonderful like I thought. I thought it was my fairy tale ending. Just watch, learn and listen to your gut, because if I'd listened to it 2 months ago, exactly 2 months ago I started writing that something wasn't right. It was just not right at all. And it hadn't changed in any way in behaviour or anything. I just knew that there was something either coming, or he wasn't interested, or that I was being played for a fool, basically. And obviously I was right. But listen to your gut, go with it, and have the strength to make that change. And so see, the problem is, when I was in the police service, I was this roughy tufty, gobby, almost hateful, loud, fun party girl, but it was all very strong emotive expressions, and I was always hardened to everything. But I had a lot of demons within me. But now I've gone completely the other side. So I've gone to this little meek lamb. Well, obviously I wasn't meek yesterday and today when I found out what was going on. Oh, I was not meek at all. But that was just a normal human reaction, wasn't it? Anger and pain and hurt and disbelief. However, I just feel that I need to toughen up a bit, because I've gone a bit too zen. I've gone a bit too love and light. So I need to get a tiny bit of the old Nicky back and just balance that right. But I've done that because I've asked Raguel to come in and bring that balance in. And so no doubt that'll be my little bit of soul work to be doing for the next couple of months, just to stand my ground a bit more and honour what I'm feeling. Just be a bit tougher. I've got to toughen up a bit, haven't I? So I hope that you get something out of this. It's been cathartic, actually, sharing it with you, and I hope it doesn't make people uncomfortable that it's such a personal issue that I'm covering. But as I said at the beginning, transparency is key to your soul ascension, to how you grow down here and have your experience. And if you can't share the truths of when you're completely humiliated, and well, I'm not humiliated, he's almost humiliated himself, but do you know what I mean? When you just going through raw pain, I thought, well, why should I always be happy and laughy? I think you should see the realness of things, and then I can obviously explain to you how I've coped with it. I can't say that tomorrow I won't wake up crying. I haven't slept at all. I haven't slept for nearly 48 hours now. Again, human conditioning. Honour that. I'll try and rest tonight, but if I can't, so be it. I'll just have to wait until I sleep again. But honour it. Be kind to yourself. Put yourself first in anything that happens that brings you pain. And as I said, if you continually connect with them through either meditation, speaking with them, or just, as I say, I've got my guide, haven't I, raising your vibration. on my other videos. Just keep exercising. You don't have to do a lot. Just keep exercising those little thoughts and processes, and you'll start seeing synchronicities and the most amazing miracles happen. And it's all happened. And this last week, if I'd had to do this all alone, I'd be in an absolute state. But I'm not. I'm not anymore. I was this morning and I was yesterday, but there's a sense of calm and peace that's come with the closure I just got anyway, with that situation in the shop. And I just hope that I've helped someone else that's going through pain, and I just hope that you're not, but that's what life's about, isn't it? It's about human experience. So I'm not going to keep going on and on. I just wanted to share just a part of my life during raw pain and how I'm getting through it. So I wish you all love and strength if any of you are suffering, and please know that the more you connect with them, the more they will show you that they've got your back no matter what happens in life. So thank you for listening. Yet again, thank you for your messages and your emails that I get every single day. I'm so honoured and humbled to receive them, because really all you're getting is me with no makeup on, hair hardly ever done. I have got a t-shirt on today though. Second time I've been dressed in the last week. It's amazing. But thank you from my heart. Thank you for listening to me and for taking time to give me feedback and let me know how I'm helping you. And again, if there's anything that you want me to cover, just drop me a line and I'll do anything I can to help you. And with that, I will send my love out to you all, and I'll speak to you on another day. God bless and thank you. Bye.